Hello, this is Mike Fish, broker owner of Minnesota Real Estate and Management, and today we're going to take some time to profile North Long Lake. And so we've been doing these profiles for a long time. I've done extensive work on North Long, South Long Lake, some of my favorites, but we have realized that we want to put this in this format. There are so many of our buyers that are out of the area, out of state, that are unfamiliar with the area. And so we figured doing these profiles for each lake may be some valuable insight. And on North Long, it's one of these lakes where I don't know where to start. I love it, worked on it for years, had several rentals on it. Today, we're actually celebrating, and this is why I thought of doing North Long today. We closed today on what I believe is the highest sale ever on North Long Lake for close to 2.7 million. And I've said for several years that North Long Lake is the lake to watch. If you watched my other video on the top 20 lakes in the area and the movement of them and where the market's shifting, North Long Lake is going to be a very, very good lake in the coming years, quite frankly, as folks are pushed off of Gull and Round onto North Long, which I've always believed has had so much to offer. So let's talk a little bit about that. Location, you just can't beat it. You know, as far as, if you're looking for shopping, Baxter, Nisswa, close to, not that far from Cross Lake, you're right there. Paul Bunyan Trail running right through there. The racetrack, the BIR, the racetrack, if that's what you're into, very close to some of the top, golf courses in the area. And so it's just a great lake with a great location in that way, right? About 6,000 acres. It's a big lake. You can almost think of it almost as like three lakes connected, but it's all one lake. Depth of about 100 feet. Overall, good water quality. The shoreline, depending on what you're looking for or where you're looking at, can be very varied on North Long. You could have a beautiful little swimming beach, you could have rock, you could have some vegetation, really depends. So it's really important too, by the way, if you're looking on North Long, that if you want to do anything with the shoreline, you're talking with the DNR. Because I've had people that have owned on North Long and said, hey, I want to do this, 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 and the DNR says, nope, you're not going to do it. So important to understand. Of course, public access is, in Merrifield and off of 371. So it's just a great lake. I would say Dunmyers is, Dunmyers, the boat club. North Long is going to continue to grow as a recreational lake too. Always been a great fishing lake. We'll put a link to the DNR stats underneath, and so a couple of resources as we always do. But, walleye fishing, northern, bass, crappie, sunfish. The lake is varied enough that it's kind of got something for everyone when it comes to the type of property you're looking for, the fishing opportunities, the recreational opportunities. North Long is just a phenomenal lake. And when I say North Long is varied, it's varied. As I mentioned, today we had a closing on North Long for almost 2.7 million. The closing I had about a month ago on North Long was for 285,000. So whether you're looking for a luxury home or you're looking for a small cabin, North Long has a lot of variance, a lot of opportunities, right? And North Long is big enough, that there's, tubing, water skiing, wakeboarding, pontooning around the lake. It's just a great recreational lake in that way. It's got a strong fishing reputation, as I mentioned. It's really a high demand lake, lots of year-round usability, lots of ice fishing. And again, I think the lake is going to continue to grow. I'm also involved in it because I do have the management company and we do short-term rentals, and we've had them on North Long from the beginning. And depending on the property, we've got properties that are more modest, that do 30, 40, 50,000 net. We had a property that we put up the third week of June last summer that grossed over 50,000 the first 2 months. So nobody can tell me the market's not there. It's still there and it's still strong. Yes, there's a little bit more of a saturation point, but North Long is still a great lake for personal recreation as well as short-term rentals. So North Long is one of those lakes where it might sound cliche, but it really has something to offer to everyone. I also want to mention, if you look at the bays, if you're looking for a more protected, quieter waters, you've got the bays, and several bays. I've got a cabin in one, super nice. You've got the ability again to pontoon to the restaurants. Probably the north side is a little bit more ideal for fishing. One thing I do want to mention, and of course the lake bottom varies, but for the most part, all swimmable lake bottom. I do want to mention that there are times when the lake gets low. I want to say it was 4 years ago. The lake was very low, and if you're looking at putting a boat in, for example, on the west side, it was almost hard to get out of the bay on the west side because the lake was low. So depending on where you're buying to, you kind of need to be aware of that it is a lake where the water does vary, and over the years I've seen it vary quite a bit. But just a great, phenomenal lake. Like a lot of the lakes around there, if you're looking at a property and they say it's a 4 or 5 bedroom property, by the way, make sure that the septic is compliant for that many bedrooms, because we've seen several on the lake that have had expansions done and things like that, and the septic had to be basically caught up to the number of bedrooms. So again, North Long Lake is a phenomenal lake. I think it's one to watch over the next 5 to 10 years. I believe it's a great investment to look on. And reach out anytime. The reason why we're building this content is because we've been doing lake profiles for years, but not in this format. And we wanted to basically put it out there for folks that aren't in the area, that are considering a lake. Basically, is North Long Lake a good lake to buy on, right? So my answer is yes. But if you've seen my video on the top 15 to 20 lakes in the area, North Long is definitely in play, definitely one of my personal favorites, but there's a lot of lakes to choose from. So depending on where you're seeing this, please, like it, subscribe, stay in touch. We would love for you to reach out anytime. We'd love to earn your trust and earn your business, and I thank you for watching this.